The cabin lights flickered like dying stars as the pilot's voice crackled over the intercom. His words slicing through the hum of recycled air. "We're making an emergency landing. Prepare for impact." But it wasn't turbulence that had Kyle's heart slamming against his ribs. It was Wesley's hand, slick with sweat, clutching his under the armrest. Their fingers intertwined in a desperate knot that screamed everything they couldn't say aloud. In that frozen second, as screams erupted around them, Kyle locked eyes with the flight attendant who'd sneered at their stolen kiss earlier, her badge glinting like a badge of judgment. And he knew, this crash wasn't in the sky. It was barreling straight into the wreckage of their hidden world. Chicago O'Hare was a beast of a place, all chrome and chaos, where dreams took off and landed like they owned the sky. Kyle Harlan, 24 and fresh out of a dead-end graphic design gig in Milwaukee, had always hated flying. Not the heights, those he could handle, but the way strangers' eyes lingered, dissecting you like you were the in-flight meal. He'd met Wesley 2 years back at a dive bar in Wicker Park, the kind with sticky floors and indie bands that made your chest ache with possibility. Wesley Tate, 25, with that effortless grin and a law degree from Northwestern he pretended not to care about, had slid onto the stool next to Kyle and said, "You look like you're plotting a revolution. Need a co-conspirator." It was cheesy as hell. But Kyle, nursing a whiskey sour after another failed Tinder date, had laughed. And just like that, the revolution began. They'd been careful at first. Dates in hidden speakeasies. Weekend getaways to Michigan's dunes where no one knew their names. But love, that sneaky bastard, doesn't stay in the shadows forever. 6 months in, Wesley had whispered over takeout Thai, "I want more." The whole damn world. Kyle had wanted it too. But the world chewed up guys like them and spat out the bones. Still, they tried. Pride parades in June, where rainbows felt like armor. Family dinners where Kyle's mom baked apple pie and asked polite questions about that friend Wesley, her eyes twinkling with unspoken pride. Wesley's side was rockier, his dad, Harlan Tate, the Tate of Tate and Associates, a powerhouse real estate firm that built half of Chicago's skyline, was old-school money, the kind that whispered discretion like a prayer. Harlan had 3 sons, but Wesley was the baby, the artist in a family of sharks. "Don't rock the boat, son," Harlan had growled once, after catching Wesley with a high school boyfriend's Polaroid. That was a decade ago, but scars don't fade. Now, here they were, buckled into row 17 on a United flight to LAX for a long weekend in Palm Springs. Kyle's first real vacation, funded by Wesley's trust fund guilt. The plane was packed with holiday stragglers, families with sticky-fingered kids, businessmen barking into phones. Kyle and Wesley had the window aisle combo, knees brushing under the shared armrest. It started innocent. Wesley's head on Kyle's shoulder during takeoff, the way it always was. Kyle traced lazy circles on Wesley's palm, code they'd invented, "I love you" in Morse. But midway over the Rockies, as the drink cart rattled by, Wesley leaned in for a quick kiss. Not even tongue, just lips brushing like a promise. The flight attendant, a woman in her 40s with a severe bun and a name tag reading Marla, paused mid-stride. Her eyes narrowed, lips pursing like she'd swallowed a lemon. "Excuse me," she hissed, voice low but venomous. "This is a family flight. Keep it appropriate." Wesley pulled back, cheeks flushing, but Kyle's blood ignited. "We're just sitting here." "What's the problem?" Marla's gaze flicked to their hands, still linked. The problem is you're acting inappropriately, making others uncomfortable. She leaned closer, breath sour with coffee. We have standards. The words hung like smoke. Around them, heads turned, whispers rippling like aftershocks. A kid in the row ahead gawked. A woman 2 seats back clutched her cross necklace. Wesley squeezed Kyle's hand tighter. A silence steady. But Kyle couldn't. Not this time. Inappropriately? We're holding hands. Last I checked, that's not a federal crime. Marla straightened, her smile brittle as cracked ice. Sir, if you can't comply, I'll have to involve the captain. She stormed off, heels clicking like gunfire. Wesley's whisper was ragged. Let it go, babe. We're almost there. But Kyle couldn't let it go. The injustice burned, hot and familiar, like every playground shove, every locker room slur. By the time the seatbelt sign dinged off, the captain, a burly guy named Reynolds, had materialized, flanked by 2 stone-faced crew members. Gentlemen, he boomed, voice pitched for the whole cabin. We need to discuss your behavior. Wesley tried diplomacy, all polished law student charm. Captain, it was a misunderstanding. We're sorry if. No apologies needed, Reynolds cut in, but his eyes said otherwise. United has a zero-tolerance policy for disruptive conduct. You'll need to deplane at the next stop. Next stop, Kyle's voice cracked, rising. We're over Colorado. You can't just. We can. And we are. For the safety and comfort of all passengers. Reynolds nodded to the crew, who loomed like bouncers. Whispers turned to murmurs. A phone camera flashed from across the aisle. Safety. Comfort. The words twisted in Kyle's gut like a knife. They were herded to the back galley. Wesley's arm around Kyle's waist now. A shield and a spark. Marla watched from the curtain, arms crossed, triumphant. As the plane dipped toward Denver, turbulence rattling the carts, Kyle felt the world tilt. Not from the air pockets, but from the realization. This was their life. Kicked out for existing. For loving. They touched down hard, tires screeching on the runway. No fanfare, just the hiss of hydraulics and the captain's curt announcement. Due to mechanical issues, we've diverted. Passengers for LAX. You'll rebook at the gate. Lies. All of it. The crew marched them down the jet bridge like criminals, past confused faces and security badges. At the gate, a supervisor waited, clipboard in hand. Mr. Harlan, Mr. Tate, your bags will be retrieved. Please follow me to customer service. Outside, the Denver chill bit through Kyle's hoodie. Wesley pulled out his phone, fingers flying. I'll call my dad. He'll fix this. Kyle nodded numbly, but inside, doubt clawed. Harlan Tate fixed things with money and muscle, but could he fix this? The headline was already writing itself in Kyle's mind. Gay couple booted from flight for a kiss. Viral fodder. But as Wesley paced, voice low and urgent into the receiver. Dad, this is bad. They discriminated. We need lawyers. Kyle stared at the tarmac, where ground crew swarmed their plane like ants. Grounded. The word echoed, ironic and cruel. Harlan's voice boomed through the speaker, tinny but thunderous. Those bastards think they can humiliate my boy? Stay put. I'm sending the jet. The jet. Of course. Tate money didn't fly commercial. Kyle sank onto a bench, head in hands. This wasn't romance. This was war. And the first casualty was their illusion of safety. By the time Harlan's Gulfstream touched down an hour later, the airport buzzed with whispers. A local news van idled curbside, tipped off by some passenger's tweet. Wesley's dad strode out like a general, silver hair impeccable, suit tailored to intimidate, flanked by two associates in crisp Brioni. Harlan Tate was 62, built like a linebacker gone to seed, with eyes that could appraise a property or a person in seconds. He enveloped Wesley in a bear hug that cracked ribs, then turned to Kyle, praising. "You must be the one who's got my son smiling again." A clap on the shoulder, firm but warm. No judgment, just power. "Dad, this is Kyle," Wesley said, voice thick. Harlan's gaze softened a fraction. "Kyle, you two hold tight. We're not leaving till I speak to someone who matters." What followed was a masterclass in corporate evisceration. Harlan stormed United's regional office, associates in tow, demanding logs, witness statements, the works. Voices rose behind frosted glass. Marla's supervisor stammering apologies, the captain's bluster crumbling under Harlan's barrage. "Discrimination? On my dime, you'll ground that crew faster than a storm front." By midnight, they were airborne again, Harlan's jet slicing west. Wesley curled against Kyle in the leather seats, whispering, "He's on our side." "Really?" But Kyle, staring at the stars through the porthole, felt the hook twist deeper. Love was a battlefield, and Harlan Tate had just loaded the guns. Palm Springs welcomed them with palm-fringed boulevards and poolside cabanas, but the glamour felt hollow. Their villa at the Parker, mid-century modern, all citrus trees and infinity edges, was Harlan's treat, peace offering. Days blurred into sun-soaked haze, lazy hikes in Indian canyons, where Wesley's laughter echoed off red rocks, nights tangled in 600 thread-count sheets, bodies mapping forgiveness. But the incident lingered like jet fuel exhaust. Wesley fielded calls from Harlan's lawyers. Kyle sketched protest posters on his iPad, fists raised against faceless skies. One evening, as the desert cooled to lavender twilight, they sat by the pool, feet dangling in the water. Wesley's hand found Kyle's, thumb stroking the lifeline. "I love you," he said, simple as breathing. "This doesn't change that." Kyle wanted to believe it. God, he did. But in the quiet, doubts whispered, how long before the world, or worse, family, clipped their wings for good? Little did they know, the real storm was brewing back home, where Harlan's warpath was just revving up. Back in Chicago, the story broke like a summer squall. Wesley's phone lit up first. A text from his sister. "Lila, CNN is running it. Dad's furious. Call me." Then the notifications avalanche. Twitter threads dissecting the gay kiss grounding, op-eds in the Tribune decrying airline bigotry, even a segment on The View where Whoopi Goldberg called it a throwback to the Stonewall Dark Ages. Kyle and Wesley, holed up in Palm Springs, watched from Harlan's villa, the TV's glow casting their faces in blue pallor. "They got Marla's name wrong," Kyle muttered, scrolling X. "It's Carla in the clip," Wesley snorted, but his eyes were shadowed. "Doesn't matter. Dad's got the real dirt." Harlan had leaked the flight logs. Timestamps showing Marla's report came minutes after their kiss. No other complaints logged. The crew's union rep was scrambling, but Harlan's firm had already subpoenaed personnel files. "He's grounding them." "All right," Wesley added, voice laced with dark pride. Captain Reynolds? Suspended pending investigation. Marla's on leave indefinite. Kyle's stomach twisted. Vengeance felt sweet in theory, but watching lives upend? It humanized the enemy. Marla had a life, kids, maybe a mortgage. Still, the betrayal stung deeper than reason. They saw us as a threat. Just for loving. Wesley's arm snaked around his waist, pulling him close on the villa's sectional. And now the world's seeing us as heroes. He nuzzled Kyle's neck, lips brushing stubble. Or at least, a cause célèbre. The romance reignited that night, fierce and reclaiming. Under the canopy bed's mosquito netting, with desert winds whispering through open doors, they moved like a storm, Wesley's hands mapping Kyle's scars, both literal, a childhood by crash, and invisible, rejections tally. Kyle arched into him, gasping Wesley's name like a prayer, their bodies a defiant symphony against the silence they'd once enforced. Afterward, slick and spent, Kyle traced the constellation of freckles across Wesley's chest. "Promise me," he murmured. "No more hiding." Wesley kissed his forehead. "Promise." But promises are fragile as eggshells. The call came at dawn. Harlan's voice gravel over the line. "Boys, get back here. Press conference tomorrow. We're suing the bastards into oblivion." The flight home was irony incarnate, first class on American, where the crew fawned like penitents, comping champagne and avoiding eye contact. Chicago greeted them with sleet-slick streets and paparazzi flashes at O'Hare. Harlan's driver whisked them to the Loop, where Tate and Associates loomed like a monolith of glass and steel. Lila met them in the lobby, all sharp bob and sharper heels, enveloping Wesley in a hug. "You idiot," she teased, then turned to Kyle. "You're family now. Welcome to the circus." Harlan's office was a war room. Whiteboards scrawled with timelines, stacks of depositions, a coffee urn hissing like a kettle on boil. "United's offering a settlement," Harlan grunted, tossing folders. $2 million. NDAs all around. "But I say we go nuclear class action. Tie in every queer kid they've ever profiled." Wesley hesitated. "Dad, that's aggressive." Harlan's eyes flashed. "Aggressive? They violated federal law, ACAA protections. Title VII. This isn't about money. It's about precedent." He paced. Tie loosened. "You think I built this firm playing nice? Your grandfather lost everything in the Depression. Fought tooth and nail for a scrap. I won't let them grind you down." Kyle watched the exchange, a knot forming. Harlan's fire was paternal, fierce, but it carried an undercurrent. "My son, my legacy." Wesley, the golden boy who'd traded law for graphic novels? This lawsuit was redemption, Harlan's way of pulling Wesley back into the fold. The press conference was a spectacle. City Hall steps, snow flurrying like confetti. Harlan at the podium, silver-tongued, railing against corporate closets and sky-high discrimination. Wesley and Kyle flanked him, hands clasped publicly for the first time, cameras popping like gunfire. "This isn't just our story," Wesley said into the mic, voice steady. "It's every couple told their love takes up too much space." Kyle nodded, throat tight, as cheers erupted from the crowd. Activists with signs, allies chanting, "Love lands anywhere." That night, they celebrated at the Gauge, a steakhouse in the Gold Coast where power lunches turned to power toasts. Harlan raised his scotch. "To grounding the giants." Laughter flowed, but Kyle caught Wesley's glance, wary, waited. Later, In their Bucktown apartment, as rain lashed the windows, Wesley confessed over microwave pizza, "Dad's using this to fix me." Cal paused, fork midway. "Fix you?" Wesley shrugged, eyes on the floor. "I'm the disappointment, the gay one who didn't marry a debutante, didn't chase skyscrapers." This suit is his way of saying, "See, you're a Tate fighter after all." The words landed like turbulence. Cal pulled him close, but the seed of doubt sprouted. Was their love a weapon now, or collateral? Weeks blurred into depositions. Kyle quit his freelance gigs to support Wesley, sketching murals for GLAD fundraisers, vibrant fists breaking chains, rainbows piercing clouds. Their story went viral. Podcasts dissected it. TikToks remixed the kiss with dramatic scores. Strangers DM'd gratitude. "You gave me courage to come out." And hate. "Fags ruining America." Kyle blocked the trolls, but they lingered, ghosts in the machine. Then, the betrayal cracked open like a fault line. It started with a leaked email Marla's forwarded anonymously to Harlan's team. In it, she vented to a coworker. Those two were all over each other. "Made me sick. But the kid, Wesley Tate, Daddy's money will bury us." Buried in the thread, a casual aside about Wesley's type, echoing rumors Harlan had quashed years ago, whispers of Wesley's wild college days, a brief affair with a married prof. Harlan confronted Wesley that night, storming their apartment unannounced. "What the hell is this?" he bellowed, waving printouts. "You told me Kyle was it, the one. But this says different." Wesley paled. "Dad, that's ancient history. I was 20, figuring shit out. Figuring out, or whoring around." Harlan's face reddened, the patriarch unmasked, veins bulging, voice a whip. "I stuck my neck out for you. Mortgaged the firm for this circus. And you, stop." Cal surged forward, fists clenched. "This isn't about you, Harlan. It's about us." Harlan whirled, eyes blazing. "Us? Boy, without me, there is no us. You'd be rotting in some motel, not on CNN." He jabbed a finger at Wesley. "Clean it up, son. Or I pull the plug." The door slammed like a guillotine. Wesley sank to the floor, head in hands. Cal knelt, wrapping arms around him. "He's wrong. We're more than this." But Wesley's sobs were jagged. "Bro, what if he's right? What if I'm just broken?" The climax loomed, not in courtrooms, but in the quiet unraveling of trust. Love, Cal realized, wasn't a straight flight path. It dipped, it dove, it demanded you fight for altitude. The lawsuit dragged into spring, Chicago's gray thaw mirroring the slow bleed of their resolve. United countersued for defamation, claiming exaggerated claims, but Harlan's machine ground on experts testifying to systemic bias, amicus briefs from Lambda Legal stacking like ammunition. Wesley threw himself into it, poring over exhibits till dawn, his law degree finally dusted off. Cal watched him change, the easy grin hardening into jaw-set determination, late nights fueled by Red Bull and resentment. "This is for us," Wesley would say, but his eyes said for Dad. Cal tried to anchor them. Mornings at Intelligentsia, sketching over cortados, afternoons in Lincoln Park, feeding ducks by the lagoon, where Wesley's head on his shoulder felt like sanctuary. One Sunday, under blooming cherries, Cal proposed not with a ring, but a promise. "Marry me," he said, voice steady despite the flutter. Not for headlines. For us. Vegas. Elopement. Whatever. Just forever. Wesley's smile cracked through the clouds. Yes. God. Yes. They kissed there, petals drifting like blessings, the world narrowing to heartbeat sync. But as they walked home, hand in hand past joggers and dogwalkers, a passerby spat faggots from a bike. Wesley stiffened, but Kyle squeezed tighter. Let M. We're the storm now. The real tempest hit in May, during discovery. Harlan's PI unearthed dirt, not on United, but on Reynolds, the captain. A history of complaints, hushed settlements for inappropriate conduct with female attendants. Leverage, Harlan crowed in the conference room, slapping the dossier down. But buried deeper, a photo. Reynolds at a 2018 fundraiser, arm around Harlan Tate, both grinning like old frat brothers. Wesley's fork clattered at lunch. You knew him? Harlan shrugged, steak knife glinting. Golf buddies, back in the day. He flew our execs. Small world. Kyle's pulse thrummed. And you didn't disclose? Disclose what? Ancient history. Harlan's tone brooked no argument. Focus on the win. But the win soured. That night, Wesley confronted his father at the club, oak-paneled, cigar-hazed, where deals were sealed in whispers. You used him. Set this up for PR. Harlan laughed, bitter. Set up? Boy, life's a setup. Reynolds was a homophobe waiting to happen. I just gave him the rope. He leaned in, voice dropping. You think I want my son paraded as the gay martyr? This suit drags our name through mud. But if we win, you're the hero. Back in the firm, proving Tates don't break. Wesley's face crumpled. I never wanted the firm. I want my life. Your life. Harlan's scoff echoed. That graphic novel crap? Kyle's scribbles? Wake up. Love's a luxury. Legacies forever. Betrayal bloomed full then. Thorns in Wesley's chest. He stormed out, hailing a cab to Bucktown, where Kyle waited with takeout and worry lines. He played us, Wesley choked, collapsing into Kyle's lap. The whole thing our pain, his glory. Kyle held him, rage simmering. Then we end it. Drop the suit. Walk away. But Wesley shook his head, tears hot on Kyle's jeans. Can't. He's got leverage, frozen my accounts, threatened to cut Lila off. It's a cage. The cage tightened that week. Harlan summoned them to a family dinner at his Gold Coast penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling views of the lake, crystal decanters gleaming. Lila was there, tense in pearls, plus Wesley's older brothers. Grant, the heir apparent, all boardroom polish, and Theo, the Wall Street wolf, smirking over wine. Conversation skirted the elephant, small talk on markets, the Cubs slump, until Harlan steered. Wesley's got a future here. Junior partner track. Post-suit. Grant nodded. Smart play. Tate and Associates needs fresh blood. Kyle's fork scraped china. Wesley's blood is his own. Theo chuckled. Cute. But family's family. Wesley erupted, chair shoving back. This isn't family. It's a goddamn syndicate. Plates rattled as he paced, voice cracking. You all knew? About Reynolds. Silence. Thick as fog. Harlan's sigh was theatrical. Knew he was a prick? Sure. But blood's thicker. Son. We protect our own. Protect? Or control? Wesley's eyes blazed to Kyle. I choose him. Us. Harlan's face darkened. Choose wrong, and you're out. No trust. No name. The room froze. Lila whispered, Dad, please. But Harlan stood, towering. Decide by morning. Firm or the fairy tale. They fled to the night. Lakeshore Drive a blur of lights. In the apartment, Wesley packed a duffel essentials. Sketches. Kyle's hoodie. Vegas, he said, feverish. Tomorrow. Fuck the suit. Fuck the legacy. Kyle's heart soared, then plummeted. Your family is you. Wesley's kiss sealed it. Desperate. Devouring. They made love on the rug. Slow and sacred. Bodies affirming what words couldn't. Dawn found them at Union Station. Amtrak tickets to LA. Then a hop to Nevada. As the train lurched south, Kyle's phone buzzed. Harlan's number. Voicemail. You're throwing away everything. Don't come crawling back. Wesley's hand in his. Kyle deleted it. Freedom tasted like diesel and dawn. But climax crests before the fall. In Vegas, the little white wedding chapel was kitsch perfection, neon hearts, an Elvis officiant with sideburns for days. They vowed under crystal chandeliers. In turbulence and calm, I choose you. Rings exchanged, simple titanium bands, engraved grounded together. Kyle's I do trembled. Wesley's grin lit the aisle. Honeymoon haze, the Strip's excess, Bellagio fountains dancing to their rhythm. But paradise cracked on night 3. A knock at their suite. Lila, disheveled, eyes red. Dad's gone nuclear. Filed an injunction, claims you're incompetent. Suits off without you. Wesley's face drained. What? He's spinning it. Grief-stricken father. Son coerced by opportunist. She thrust papers. Kyle named. Accused of undue influence for his radical activism. Betrayals knife twisted. Harlan wasn't just cutting Wesley. He was vivisecting Kyle, painting him the villain. Why? Kyle whispered. Lila's voice broke. He loves you, Wes. In his twisted way. Thinks he's saving you from this. A gesture encompassing them. The rings. The love. Wesley pulled Kyle close. Tell him we're done. As Lila left, the desert wind howled outside, mirroring the gale within. Their marriage, fresh as dew, now fodder for tabloids. Tate air flees to Sin City. Lawsuit implodes. The conflict peaked not in courts, but in confrontation. Wesley booked flights home, faced the beast. Kyle protested, but Wesley cupped his face. Together. Always. Chicago's skyline sneered as they landed. Storm clouds brewing. Harlan's penthouse was a fortress, but Wesley had a key. They burst in mid-meal. Family at the table. Silverware poised. We're married, Wesley announced. Ring flashing. And the suit? Drop it. Or lose me. Harlan rose slow. Face a mask. Married. To him. Disgust curled his lip. A nobody artist? He's everything. Kyle shot back. Voice steel. More than your empire. The room ignited. Grant's barbs. Theo's laughs. Lila's pleas. Harlan's roar drowned them. You ungrateful shit. I built this for you. Wesley stepped forward. Chest to chest. No. Dad. You built it for you. I love him. End it. Silence fell. Heavy. Harlan's eyes. For the first time, cracked, vulnerability flickering like a shorted wire. "You're breaking me, son." "Then break," Wesley whispered. "And rebuild better." The door closed behind them, a severing. Outside, rain lashed, but Kyle's hand in Wesley's was dry. Sure. The climax broken, catharsis washed in. Summer scorched Chicago, humidity clinging like regret. But for Kyle and Wesley, it was rebirth. The lawsuit crumbled. United settled quietly, a 7-figure payout to GLAAD. Crew retrained under federal oversight. Harlan's injunction, dismissed as baseless familial spite. Headlines shifted. Tate love story grounds bigotry. Their wedding photo, Elvis grinning, rings aglow, went viral, symbol of defiance. Wesley dove into writing, a memoir in progress, turbulent hearts, raw vignettes of flight and fallout. Kyle illustrated it, panels bursting with color, storms yielding to sunrises. They sublet the Bucktown place, road-tripping the Great River Road in a vintage VW camper. Harlan's silence a ghost in the rearview. Lila texted sporadically, "He's drinking less. Asks about you." But Wesley archived them, unread. "Water under the bridge," he'd say. But Kyle saw the flinch. Romance deepened in the mundane. Campfire songs in Galena, where Wesley's off-key falsetto made Kyle howl. Skinny dipping in Mississippi backwaters, water cool against fevered skin. Nights in the camper, rocking on shocks. They explored anew, Wesley's fingers tracing Kyle's spine like braille. Whispers of mine against collarbones. "You're my horizon," Kyle breathed once. Post-climax glow. And Wesley's laugh rumbled. "And you're the sky, but humanism demands shadows." Fall brought reconciliation's whisper. A letter arrived. Harlan's scrawl on heavy stock. "Son, I was wrong. Pride's a poison. The firm's yours if you want it, not as heir, but partner. Bring Kyle. Let's talk." Wesley stared at it over coffee, steam curling like questions. What if he's changed? Kyle's gut nodded. What if he hasn't? They waited on a Wrigleyville walk. Autumn leaves crunching underfoot. Wesley stopped at Addison, eyes on the ivy-covered walls. Baseballs like family slumps, home runs, forgiveness. Maybe, Kyle nodded, reluctant. One meeting. Boundaries. The penthouse dinner was tentative, candlelight softening edges, Lila mediating with wine. Harlan looked diminished, cheeks hollowed, suit hanging loose. "I failed you," he started, voice gravel. Thought control was love. "Buried my own regrets, your mother." A pause. Eyes misting. "She died young. Cancer's thief," leaving Harlan armored in grief. Wesley softened. "We all bury things." Talk turned to the suit, Harlan's mea culpa. "I saw Reynolds as a mark, not a monster. Used your pain. Forgive." "Not yet," Wesley said, but gentle. "But a start." Kyle watched, wary but thawing. Harlan turned to him. "You grounded me, kid. Showed me love's not a ledger." A hand extended, calloused, sincere. Kyle shook it, the grip lingering. Post-dinner, in the elevator, Wesley kissed Kyle fierce. "Thank you for believing in second acts." But acts twist. December brought the gut punch. Harlan's diagnosis, stage 4 pancreatic. Aggressive. Months, maybe. He told them over eggnog at the Ritz, voice steady as rebar. Lila wept, brothers flanked like sentinels. Wesley froze, then shattered, hugging his father, sobs muffled in wool. Why didn't you say? Time for bridges, not burdens. Harlan's eyes met Kyle's. Take care of him. Your family now. The betrayal's echo faded in hospice vigils. Harlan's suite overlooked the lake, winter ice cracking like old grudges. Wesley read chapters aloud, turbulent hearts drafts, Harlan chuckling at the barbs. You got my fire, son. And his heart, nodding to Kyle. Kyle sketched portraits. Harlan young, arm around a ghostly wife. The three of them now, hands linked. One night, as morphine dripped, Harlan gripped Wesley's wrist. Proud of you both. His gaze shifted to Kyle. Grounded me right. He slipped at dawn, monitors flatlining to birdsong. The funeral was private, magnificent mile cathedral, eulogies from titans. Wesley spoke last. He taught me to fight and to love without chains. Afterward, at the gravesite, snow-dusting headstones, Kyle held him as winds howled elegy. Grief's romance is quiet fury. Wesley withdrew, nights pacing, days staring at the manuscript. Kyle coaxed him out, hot chocolate at Christkindl Market, where lights twinkled like stars reclaimed. He'd want you flying, Kyle murmured, gloved hand in Wesley's. Wesley leaned in, breath fogging. With you, always. Spring 2026 bloomed tentative. Turbulent Hearts hit shelves, bestseller lists. Oprah nod. Their story inspired legislation. The Tate-Harlan Act, mandating LGBTQ+ sensitivity in aviation. Wesley joined the firm part-time, Lila's co-pilot, reforming from within. Kyle's art exploded, gallery show in Soho, murals in Boys Town. One anniversary eve, atop Willis Tower, city sprawl at their feet. Wesley knelt. Not proposal, renewal. We grounded once. Now, we soar. Rings kissed. Promises etched deeper. But humanism lingers in the ache. Harlan's absence echoed. A reminder. Love wins, but scars map the victory. Kyle traced Wesley's jaw in the observation deck's glow. To crashes and comings home, Wesley's grin, that first bar spark, and every mile between. Years folded like frequent flyer miles, carrying Kyle and Wesley into a rhythm both steady and electric. By 2028, Turbulent Hearts had spawned a docuseries, Netflix bidding war, directors chasing their raw authenticity. Wesley, ever the reluctant star, quipped during filming, "We're not heroes, we're just stubborn." Kyle rolled his eyes on camera. But off, in their Wicker Park brownstone, bought with book royalties, walls lined with his abstracts, he'd pull Wesley close. Stubborn looks good on you. Life layered on. A golden retriever named Harlan, the good kind of grounding. Weekend Sabbaths at Michigan's shores, where waves lapped like confessions. Wesley's firm work balanced advocacy, pro bono for queer asylum seekers, cases echoing their own ejection. Kyle's studio thrived, commissions from HRC galas to corporate pride campaigns. Their love, once a secret handshake, now public poetry, hand-holding at the Art Institute, where Monet's lilies mirrored their depth. Yet conflict simmers eternal. A united reunion flight, irony's gift, tested waters. Invited as equity ambassadors, they boarded the same route, row 17. New crew, diverse, trained, smiles genuine. Captain, A non-binary, they slashed them. Welcomed personally. Your story changed us. Turbulence hit mid-flight. But Wesley's hand in Kyle's was anchor, not alarm. See, he whispered. We rewrote the script. Laughter bubbled. But post-landing, a fan approached, teen with rainbow pins, voice shy. You gave me words when I had none. Kyle hugged them, throat tight. Human victories, small but seismic. Betrayal's ghost resurfaced subtly. Lila, now CO in waiting, confessed over brunch. Dad had a codicil. Contingency if you two split. Wesley's fork paused. Split? We're ironclad. She nodded, but eyes shadowed. He feared you'd resent the empire. Wanted safeguards. Wesley laughed. Bittersweet. He never got it. Legacy's not bricks. It's us. Kyle squeezed his knee under the table. A more steady. Forgiveness, they learned, was iterative waves eroding stone. Climax revisited in Crisis. 2029. Wesley's car accident. Slick roads. A delivery truck's blind spot. Kyle at the ER. World narrowing to beeps and blood-streaked tiles. Fractured femur. Concussion. But alive. Wesley, groggy in recovery, grinned through morphine. Told you I stick landings. Kyle's vigil cracked then. Sobs racking as he held that hand. For tethered. Don't scare me like that. You're my everything. Wesley's thumb stroked knuckles. And you're my why. Rehab was romance rekindled. Kyle wheeling Wesley through rehab gardens. Banter sharp as therapy. If you limp, I'll draw you as a pirate, Kyle teased. Wesley's retort, matey, my treasure's safe. Intimacy adapted, gentle, inventive, bodies relearning trust. Harlan the dog curled at bedside, a fluffy sentinel. Humanism peaked in healing. Wesley's book tour paused, but letters poured. Readers sharing scars. Loves lost and found. One. From Marla. Yes, that Marla. Apologized via certified mail. I was scared. Of difference. Your forgiveness grounds me. Wesley read it aloud. Voice even. Reply or burn? Kyle pondered. Reply. Full circle. The response. Brief. Gracious. We've all crashed. Glad you're aloft. By 2030, scars silvered. They adopted twin boys from foster care. Jamal and Luca, 6 and full of fire. Parenting was chaos poetry. Lego forts at dawn. Bedtime stories of 2 dads who fought skies. Wesley's lullabies. Kyle's sketches, family. Forged not born. 1 July 4th. Rooftop barbecue in Logan Square. Fireworks blooming overhead. Jamal on Wesley's shoulders. Luca in Kyle's arms. Lila toasting. To Tate's unbound. Laughter rang. But as booms echoed, Wesley pulled Kyle aside. Lake breeze ruffling hair. 10 years since the kiss. Feel like yesterday. Kyle's eyes misted. Best detour ever. Their kiss, under starburst skies, was the story's true end. Deep, unhurried, a narrative closed yet open. Love, they knew, wasn't linear. It looped, it lifted, it landed where it willed. In the quiet after, Kyle whispered, "Human enough?" Wesley grinned. That revolutionary spark. More than. We're legend. And in America's vast blue, 2 hearts soared. Grounded. Yes, but forever free.